Namaste.
Namaste
Namaste
Techies.
Techies.
Namaste Harjit.
Namaste Anup.
So
Oh,
it's
this is
another
great.
Monday, right?
Yep. Another Monday. Here we are. You know,
Yay.
doing community service.
Yes. Free
Yes,
community stuff.
exactly. So
Trying to help people.
that's what we do, right?
Yeah.
It's and we try to find small things that people can use and either learn or expand their knowledge and skills. That's why we're here, right? Um,
Exactly.
and we are learning at the same time too. Seriously,
Yeah.
because in order to do what we are trying to do on the shows, we also have to learn that stuff, right?
Exactly.
So
That is keeping us updated, right? So we
yes,
want to
exactly.
share something and that is why we learn and we read a lot of things and we try things in lab and that is what we are doing, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
I don't think a lot of people realize how much time someone like you and me spend, um, on a day-to-day basis, just trying to find the new things and testing it and learning about it and reading stuff and writing the blogs and creating the videos. And uh, I don't know how much sleep we get, but both of us don't go to bed very early.
Exactly.
So but I think it's not because we find it's a burden or anything, but we find it that it is very uh it's exciting and it's rewarding to ourselves as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels good. So
Yep.
anyways, today's show, we're gonna do Windows 11 with Intune and much more, right?
Yes.
And
Today is
right,
another exciting day for us, right?
another exciting
Windows.
day for us.
Yeah.
Yes. um and speaking of that, last week on either Thursday or Friday, I can't remember the days now, but Microsoft finally released the ISO files for Windows 11. They're actually the Windows Insider ISO files. And you have written a really nice blog post, and I think you can show, and then we can move on to the
Sure
Intune
thing.
stuff.
That's a good idea. Let me try to grab my screen. Okay, cool.
There we go.
So hopefully you can see it. Okay, so this is the blog which Harjit was talking about, and I'm not going through all the steps in that blog. Probably we can link this blog to our description of the video as usual, right?
Yes,
So
as
this
usual.
is this is the URL where you can go and download the insider version or ISO, right? So that's pretty kind of straightforward process. You don't require any login, etc. And this is the ISO which we are talking about. I have downloaded over here just for
Yes.
checking some things, and you can see this is standard ISO, right? So that's about the ISO. Let's get into some fun stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Windows 11, how to enroll into Intune, right? So that is what we are going to show today. So in this VM, this VM is already kind of enrolled into Intune. I tested it, and we have couple of blog posts about that as well. But in this demo, I'm going to show you how to do that. Go to settings, right? And if you go to settings, it will be by default on system tab, right? You need to go
Yeah.
to accounts. Okay, and in accounts you can see like some stuffs like access work or school. It is bit different, UI is bit different, right? Rather if you compare it with Windows 10, right? So it's down
Yeah.
here, access work or school. If you click on that, you will get an option. over here. So at this point of time, that option is not available because I have already enrolled this device into Intune, right? That is
Right.
why there is no option over here. But normally, if your Windows 11 device is not enrolled to Intune, there will be an option kind of enrolled to device management only, right? So
Right.
this is kind of a BYO scenario which we are showing now, right?
Right.
This is not a corporate Azure AD joined device. So in this device, I have joined with my personal account, and we are using this as a BYO kind of a scenario, right? So it won't be Azure AD joined scenario, but it will be Azure AD registered scenario. Okay. So I am logging into this PC with my Outlook account or whatever Microsoft account you want, right? So once you have gone through the wizard of enrolling into Intune is similar to Windows 10, right? There's no
Yeah.
changes in that. So I have some screenshots available in the blog post. So probably you can go through it. We will link that into the description of the video. If you are interested, you can go through it and check it out, right? So another thing is you have an option to do Azure AD join. If I try to connect from here, right? So probably you will get an option similar to Windows 10, right?
Mhm.
That is join this device to Azure AD directory, right? So that's a good option if you want to kind of test a CYO kind of a scenario, right?
Right.
Corporate owned device kind of a scenario, right? Okay, and after doing this, you need to log into Windows 11 device with your Azure AD credentials. Okay, but now I have not done that. I have used my personal device to enroll into Intune, and I used the device management option over here, right? It
Yeah.
is not show, as I mentioned before. So if you go, once you are enrolled, you can see a lot of options. If you kind of expand this, right, there is a drop
Mhm.
down over here, and if you expand that, you will find a lot of two options at least, right? One is info and the other one is disconnect, right? And if you have a disconnect option, probably you, if you want to disable it, you can disable it through the policies. But this is my test VM, that is why I didn't do that. But there are options to disable this button, etc., right, through the policies and all. Okay, so for example, if you want to sync manually the policies, right, Intune policies, if you want to sync that, how to go about that? So if you want to sync, then you need to go to managed by a default directory info, right, info option, and in the
Yeah.
info option you will see all the options, right? What are the policies applied, and server information, right? And you can see the sync button over here, right? Syncing keeps security policies, network profiles and managed applications up to date, right? If you want to sync the policies with the Intune service, you can click on the sync and it will start syncing, right? And this is similar to Windows 10, but the how to get to this part is a bit
It's changed
different.
a bit.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
this create report option is also there, right? This is also there in Windows 10, so you can export the reports into this default directory if you want, right? So these are the main things which I wanted to show in Intune. Sorry, from Windows 11, how to enroll into Intune. Once you enroll into Intune, you can go to the Intune portal or admin center portal, right? This is Microsoft Endpoint Manager Admin Center portal, and you can go to devices. Okay, and if you can see Intune Windows 11 device over here. Okay, if I click on that, you can see the Windows 11 device.
Mhm.
And if I go to properties, you would be able to see the version number and all the device. No, not in properties, probably in hardware, right? So in hardware, you can see the version number of Windows 11, etc. This version number is important for us because with version number, we can do a lot of fun stuff, right, in Intune.
Yeah.
So let's get into that, right? So how to kind of deploy, for example, if you have a scenario and you want to deploy some particular application only to Windows 11 devices,
Mm-hmm.
or if you want to exclude Windows 11 devices from a particular policy or particular deployment, right? There are a couple of options to do that, right? One is my favorite, tenant Intune filters, right? Assignment filters. Okay, so this is one of my favorite thing. That this gives Intune admins or device management admins more power than
Mm-hmm.
using Azure AD device dynamic device groups, right? So I feel like sometimes Azure AD dynamic device groups are not very consistent, right? And the SLA for that is update of Azure AD dynamic groups is 24 hours, right? So for example, if you are using Azure AD dynamic groups for Windows 11, okay, and if your new Windows 11 devices are not getting updated within 24 hours, you cannot kind of raise a ticket with Microsoft because their SLA is 24
24
hours,
hours.
right?
Yeah.
So I think I have created some. I don't remember where I have created. Okay, so I
It's
have
right there.
created a group over here. Yeah. If I go to dynamic membership rules, you can see I'm searching for device OS version. I'm using this particular property, right, to find out Windows 11 devices. Okay, so all the Windows 11 devices will be coming out with this, start with this version number, right? So
Yeah.
that is why we are using this. Okay. And if I go to members, you can see there are two devices, right, in this group, and you can use this dynamic Azure AD group, device group, and you can see like what is the latest update, membership last updated time, etc., etc., right?
Mm-hmm.
Normally the Azure AD group dynamic group update will happen immediately, right? But if you have any problem, you cannot, as I mentioned before, you cannot raise a ticket because the SLA is 24 hours. But unofficially, it will. In my experience, I have seen like it is getting updated immediately, right?
Okay.
So let's go back to um,
Filters.
filters, exactly. um, so how we can create a filter, right? So create a filter, let's go through that wizard very quickly, and let's say Windows 11 um, techies, right? Or okay, whatever, test, right?
Yeah. Test. Yeah.
And select platform Windows 10, right? That's bit
Yeah. So.
weird, right? but yeah, I'm sure Microsoft will update this, or Microsoft
Yeah.
will provide better way with the release of Windows 11 in production, right? So that's a good point, right? The all these are like insider versions of Windows 11, so officially these things are not supported in production, right? So you should not try this in production. You can test this, but I don't recommend doing this in production and
That's a good
deploying.
disclaimer. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to next page, and this is the brain of filters, right, from
Mm.
my perspective. And here is what we need to select. This is similar to Azure Active Directory dynamic group queries, right?
Yeah.
The UI is similar, right? But the background mechanism, it is different, right? So what I want to compare this is with dynamic collections in a configuration manager or a
Yeah.
CCM. So this gives that kind of a power to device admins, I feel, right? At the moment, the property list is bit low, the supported property, but I'm sure it will become a huge list, and probably we might need a search button somewhere in
Yeah.
the UI to search it, right? Okay. So over here, I'm going to select the similar property, right? OS version. And in OS version, you can see the similar kind of operator, right?
Yeah.
I am you going to use start with operator, right? And the value I'm going to use is basically the same as the dynamic group one, right? So probably I'm very lazy. That is why I'm going to copy it. I don't want to. Um, yeah, I don't want to make any mistakes, right? That is the main point, right? Typos or something like that, right? So that is why I kind of use the Control C, Control V method. So, okay, so we got the rule syntax. Now it is going to filter all our Windows 11 devices, right? Click on next and say, if you want to add scopes, you can do that
Yeah.
and create it, right? That's kind of a straightforward process. Okay, so now we have the filter ready. This is the first step. Now we need to go to any of the devices, right? Devices, and probably go to any of the policies, right? And see, take one particular policy, maybe, I don't know, data collection policy, maybe. I don't know what does this exactly, and where it is going, which rule. Okay, where is the where's the group? Okay, this is assignment, right? If you go to
Right.
assignment and edit, you can see this is not deployed to any of the devices, right? So for example, if I want to add this to all the devices, all deploy this particular policy to all the devices in my environment, I can use add all devices option. And I think somewhere I like this option, because with filter
Mm.
we can filter out the devices, or if you want to exclude some devices, and if you want to include some devices, you can do that with the filter, right? So this is where filter comes very handy, right? You can click on edit filter, and it will ask you what you want to do. You want to include filtered devices, or exclude filtered devices, right?
Right.
So in this scenario, what I want to do is I want to exclude Windows 11 devices from this policy, right? I don't want to get this particular policy, or I don't want to deploy this particular policy to Windows 11 devices, right? So let's see how to achieve that. Okay, so click on exclude filtered devices, and click on the filter which we have created right now,
Yeah.
right? So this is the one, test one, right? I'm going to select that, and I'm going to say, okay, this is excluded, right? And now if I click save, it starts deploying this particular policy to all the devices excluding Windows 11 device. Okay,
Right.
so that is the logic of filter, and it is very useful in some of the scenarios, right? Especially in kind of filters are useful not only in Windows 11 scenario, but also in kind of AVD, Azure Virtual Desktop, and Windows 365 scenarios, right?
Yeah.
So for example, if I take a device, okay, and let me show you how we can analyze or troubleshoot filters in a bit bit more details, right? Just quickly, if I can show that. If I go to Windows 11, this is my Windows 11 device, and there is an option tab called filter evaluation, right? This is under
Hmm.
preview, private preview. If you click on that, you would be able to see there are two or three policies, right, or application deployments where I have enabled the filters, right, in the deployment. And if you check this one, probably Chrome, Google Chrome, you can see. Um, so it says exclude this from exclude this deployment. This deployment, Chrome deployment, should not go to Windows 365 cloud PCs, right?
PC. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have excluded that, but it says no, evaluation result does not match, right? So it says cloud PC, but the model is virtual PC, right? So this is not a cloud PC, okay? And that is why it went out to this particular device, Windows 11 device, because we are not checking Windows 11 filter. We are checking Windows 365 Cloud PC filter, right? That is a bit different. So let me try to get one Cloud PC over here. This one, right? This is Cloud PC. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if I go to filter evaluation, and if I click on the same Google Chrome, and you can see, come on. Okay, the same exclude Windows 11, Windows 365 filter is being used here, and you can see match, right?
It's a match,
and it's matched. So that means Chrome is not deployed to this particular Windows 11. Sorry, Windows 365 Cloud PC. Okay, and you can see. I created rule syntax based on the device model.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the device model is Cloud PC. Okay, and as you can see, the evaluation engine will analyze and provide the information. What is the model, right? The model is Cloud PC standard, right? So this is very useful if you're having trouble with some evaluation, filters, right? Filter evaluations, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Then this is one of the troubleshooting tip I wanted to quickly share. I think that is it from demo side, right?
That is good. Yeah. Yeah. Looks like filtering is the new hot stuff.
Yes.
And it makes sense. It's it's very much like config manager, right? SCCM. When you're creating your not the direct rule collections, but the query
Dynamic,
collections.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's very useful. Definitely, that's and it's also good to know about dynamic groups and the SLA and so on and so forth. So, but as you mentioned, keep in mind that the filters option or feature is still in preview, right?
Yeah.
So preview mean it's technically not supported. It's only for testing purposes.
I think I'm a bit confused sometimes about Intune preview versions because like if we ask some of the product managers or project managers within Microsoft, probably they will say like, okay, this is supported, right? Public preview is supported in Intune, at least from that team's perspective. Probably I don't know. I don't have a clear message whether it's supported or not.
Well, the same thing with tenant attach, right? I mean, it took a long time, but tenant attach was still preview, but technically it was actually production, really. People were already using it, so, but a long time. So, yeah. But I think at the end of the day, we just want to say, definitely test it. Definitely have your test environment to play with these things and see how they work out. We're not saying, go and shift all your processes, overnight.
Exactly.
And maybe use both, right?
And also, I think if it's in private public preview, there is some SLA differences, right? Between the general available kind of feature and a preview feature. Probably, I don't know. I'm not expert there, so
neither am I. So that's good to know. Yeah, no, this is great. Great stuff. Great, walkthrough and a good way to bring your devices into endpoint manager. But initially, what you showed with the Windows 11 device itself, that's very much a BYOD scenario. Like you're bringing your own device and you want to like, hey, I want to get all the good stuff from the organization's endpoint manager for applications and management and all this stuff. Then you can manually do that. um, and then but obviously you could do that you know uh,
Yeah.
d-
There's a
from
lot of automated way to do that
right,
as well,
right.
right?
So we're not saying that you have to do this individually to each and every device in the
Yeah.
organization. That would be ridiculous, right? So
Yeah.
this is just for testing purposes. If you're trying to play with it, these are some options. This is how you connect. This is how you do the work or your whatever they call it now.
Yeah. I normally use the manual method to test something, right?
Yes,
If you want to try it out something in pre-production or staging environment,
right.
probably you can do this. And otherwise, you can use MDM and auto enrollment option in Azure AD or in my endpoint manager portal, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
for Windows 365, or not Windows 365, for AVD, you can
yeah.
use the group policy, right? Intune group policy for AVD,
That's
hybrid
right.
join scenarios. So there are a lot of options. You can use autopilot, white glove,
Yes,
a
so
hell
many.
lot of options.
Pick your poison.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, so this is good. And we'll be. So you and I, before we leave, you and I are actually going to be presenting at the Ghana user group next Saturday.
Yeah.
So yes, that'll be good. And we're going to be talking about Windows 365 and just basically having the two of us be the two of us like we are.
Exactly.
So hopefully people will learn something, but no promises.
Yeah. That is nice one. Set the
You know,
expectation, right? Setting
we
the
are setting the
expectation.
expectation. So, anyways, we'll provide that link again because this video will go out very soon, and have the link and join the user group and support, the folks from Ghana. They are really awesome people. I've met some of them in Johannesburg when I went to Microsoft Ignite the tour, and it's awesome. They're very community focused, really nice people. So, all right. Until next time, you know where to find us. And
And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and whatever you want, right? Do whatever you
yes,
want.
exactly. So, all right. Until next time, cheers.
Cheers,
Namaste.
namaste.